Hey, so I just hit 200 subscribers and haven't made a video in 4 months, so let's do this thing. So the video for today is going to be a third remake on the top 10 games like WolfQuest. The reason for this is because, well, yeah, I think that just about sums it up, the audio and things, and most of them are dead or unrealistic goals. Now, if just big spoiler alert, you should probably go watch this video for yourself. But hey, Primitive Call, let's talk about that. Primitive Call, the game we all had such high hopes for. I know many people still defend the game nowadays, saying that it's still a work in progress and that it's getting there bit by bit. But to be honest, even though it might have a team of dedicated creators and maybe still a half-dead team of, well, people supporting it, I genuinely don't think Primitive Call will come to pass. If you know anything about Sizu, he's worked on multiple games like this that have all ended up dying, and I don't really trust him too much as a creator, but if he manages to help the team get past with Primitive Call, I will definitely change my mind about it. But at the moment, Primitive Call hasn't posted anything on their Facebook, Twitter, or actual homepage in like a year, 2 years perhaps, and it's just been dead ever since, I don't know, ever since the normal homepage has been dead, the Facebook page has slowly died out, and genuinely I don't think Primitive Call could really be considered a game that's going to come to pass in our lifetimes as of yet. Still feel free to support the creators. They're still in a learning process of coding, and if they do manage to get the game out, it'll be a huge stepping stone for them in their career, and I will gladly make a video on it if it ever does actually come to pass. So let's jump into the actual video with games you can play in the meantime if you are waiting for something like this to ever exist. So the games on this list will not all be free, but I'm gonna try and admit as many free ones as I possibly can for you all, because I know that's most likely the reason some of you are looking up different games to WolfQuest, because you can't afford it. But if you ever can, I highly suggest you go buy WolfQuest for yourself, play multiplayer. You can play it on both your tablet or your computer. It's a pretty wide range game, so you should definitely check that out first before you check out any other games that are similar to it. Definitely play it for yourself. But now you're probably looking at this and wondering, I recognize it, this is Roblox, what are you possibly doing, Renee? Well, at this point, all I am here to say is I'm offering free chances to get a secondary WolfQuest. They might not all be at the same level as WolfQuest, but it's fun. Now, if you know anything about Roblox, it is very much famous for the way it is built, and so many people create so many awesome things with it. Now, this creator, specifically Huuugs Studios, creates a series called Dragon's Life, Wolf's Life, and Wolf's Life is probably one of the closest things you can get to WolfQuest and Feral Heart that's completely free to play. It has an amazing community. You can roleplay with so many different actions and just make your character look awesome. They can literally wear a potions bag. It's amazing. And you have so many different hairstyles. I could almost consider this a second Feral Heart that's just fantastic. I would highly suggest it. It is on Roblox, so you're going to have to look for it for a little while, but I'll try and see if I can keep all games in the description so that you can come and check them out for yourselves. However, if you are considering playing this, you will need to create a Roblox account first and download it, which isn't actually too much. It's completely safe. Roblox is fine. Just remember to stay safe on the internet, kids. The next game we are looking at is also completely free on Roblox. Now, you might think this one is a little strange and it might look blocky or whatever, but perhaps I should just play a little bit of it to show you why this game I highly recommend, even though it's a work in progress game. Now, this game is extremely popular because of, well, its models. Now, you might think it's Roblox, Renee. There's nothing good about this Roblox game that could possibly beat WolfQuest. Well, You're true. It's true. It's very, very much true that this is a Roblox game and it has its limitations. But if you are a good artist with good skills, you can work with those limitations. And at the end of the video, I'll leave just a little snippet of Wild Savannah so that you can see for yourself why this game is worthy. So as far as free games go, Primitive Call will probably never come to pass, but the closest thing you can get to Primitive Call at this point is Cereal Soup. Now, this game has so many creation mechanics, it's just so much fun to play, it has such an amazing community and dedicated creators who really do enjoy playing it. And even though this game is only available on Steam, it is just so much fun to play and it's just so amazing. I definitely recommend checking it out. However, there is a current bug where you cannot play Cereal Soup on a 64-bit computer. It kind of just crashes every now and then. However, if you do have a bit of a stronger computer, I do recommend it. It is a fantastic game, even with its bugs. It's still in alpha mode, so it is extremely buggy and somewhat glitchy, but nonetheless, it's like a Primitive Call you can play at the moment. You can play as a raptor, which is a bird, a canis, which is a dog, a feline, which is a lion, and a serval, which is like a weasel otter mix. And you can get all sorts of presets, get yourself a feather tail. It has so much lore and different markings. You can have multiple markings on top of one another. This game is probably one of the best animal MMOs you will ever get. That's the closest to Primitive Call. And what's good is it's completely free. But at the moment, until they've fixed it, I highly just recommend you might wait until they actually fix the 64-bit computer bug. I know that they're hard at work fixing that. It's just been a little crazy. I am planning on making a video on it. I just currently need my dad's computer for that. He's got a nice strong one that can handle Cereal Soup, unlike my small 64-bit computer laptop. So I'll hopefully have a video out about this in the future. Now, if you're a person who's bored of WolfQuest, yet you have a little bit of money to spare, here's a couple of games that could probably tickle your fancy. Okami. Wow, Okami is one of the best games I've ever seen in style. It's just, you play as this goddess wolf who brings life to the world, and it's just so much fun to play. You can play it on your PS4, you can play it on so many different consoles, and just have so much fun, just wreaking havoc and creation just everywhere. It is also available on Steam if you ever feel like buying it. It has very positive reviews, not gonna lie. Just looking at all these images, I think you can see why. The First Tree is a game available on Steam. I'm not really sure if it's available on other consoles, I think so, but it's available on Steam as well. It's not necessarily free, but it is a fantastic game where you can play as a fox following a story on the side of a missing family member and things, and it's just such a beautiful world to explore, playing as a fox among the wildlife. It's not really that similar to WolfQuest, but if you do feel like ever playing as a fox in a beautiful landscape, this is definitely a game I would recommend. You can just see by this video that it has fantastic graphics, that it is pretty easy mechanics, and that you can just run around as a little fox. Who wouldn't want to run around as this? It isn't necessarily like the multiplayer version of WolfQuest, but you can play as a little fox, which is similar to a wolf, so I would put it at that. It's like WolfQuest. The next couple of games on my list will probably all be made by the developers called Might and Delight. If you have never heard of them, then you are most likely living under a rock. They are the creators of multiple books, like soundtracks, and just amazing games. They're the creators of Shelter, Shelter 2 and Shelter 3, and as well as Meadow. Now, the cheapest one of them all would probably be Meadow, where you can basically just like spend like $1 or $2 or 27 Rand, if you will, and play with multiple other people as any sort of animal you want. However, a couple of animals are locked behind a paywall, which unfortunately you need to pay to get. For example, the eagle you're seeing here can only be unlocked by having or owning all of the Shelter games. The lynx is unlocked by Shelter 2. The baby lynx is unlocked by Paws. The baby bear, I'm sure, is unlocked by owning couple of other shelter products, but most of the animals here, like the deer, the badger, the deer, the badger, the frog, a whole bunch of different creatures are all just available for free, just for like just literally $1 or $2, so just 27 Rand about. And you can spend just like a little bit of pocket money on this amazing game that you can have so much fun playing. I have tried recording it. The graphics are amazing, but the recorder is a little bit slow to deal with all of the amazing patterns and things. I've just had so much fun. Everyone is so friendly. It's definitely just almost even better than playing WolfQuest, I'd definitely say. If you don't enjoy bullying, or if you don't want your child to get bullied, I highly recommend Meadow, as there is no real actual chat system. All you use are basically emojis. There isn't really any real attack form of emojis, but you do use symbols and things to communicate with one another. For example, you can say, like, the eagle can put a cross and a cave symbol, and you can say, no, I can't really fly into the caves, that's just something the eagle's not capable of doing. However, every other creature is capable of climbing a mountain or scaling up the big tree, or, you know, there's just so many like symbols you can use to communicate with one another, even without a chat system. And it's just such a unique game to play. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's just so much fun. You should all try it out at least once in your lives. The shelter games. Now, the shelter games are definitely also made by Might and Delight. However, they are single player and single player only. There is no multiplayer. Shelter 3, which you are currently seeing now, is where you get to play as elephants and a whole bunch of different things. The shelter games are basically where you play as a mother or who has to look after their babies in the wild. For example, Shelter 1 is with the mother badger looking after her baby badgers. Shelter 2 is with the mother lynx, and Shelter 3 will be with the mother elephant. However, you do get smaller games like Paws, which is about baby lynxes, where you get to play as a baby lynx. And if you do happen to buy Meadow and one of the shelter games, you get to unlock the lynx and whatever animal in this game in Meadow. So if you buy Shelter 3 and Meadow, you'll probably unlock an elephant to play as Meadow. And if you buy the Shelter 2, you'll probably unlock the lynx. You know, vice versa. Now, if you've ever wanted to play a game where you can literally play as a dragon flying through the skies, this is the game for you. You can literally fly and play through the clouds. It is one of the most fun and unique games that I've just had hours enjoying to play. You can roar as a dragon, you can do backflips, you can just fly through the sky as this mighty dragon, summoning giant beasts, and just following this amazing storyline with hours of just fun flying through the sky. And it's just, oh, so unfortunately my 64-bit computer cannot handle it, so I've only managed to play it on my dad's stronger computer when he's given me the chance to. But it's fantastic. It's just so much fun. It's so beautiful and has quite a couple of challenging moments, not gonna lie. Unfortunately, you cannot die in this game, which is one thing. But yeah, it's been just a lot of fun playing this. So much fun. It is one of the most underrated games that I have ever played. It's definitely worth the money that you pay to get it, and I definitely say it is one of the most fun I've had in any other game. Now, if you are too broke to afford either of these, this game is also quite cheap, and it is the game called Oure. Now, this game is where you can basically play as this girl who can turn into a bird and can fly among this huge map of just people and explore the massive landscapes and ruins and figure out a whole bunch of puzzles. It is definitely quite a freeing experience being able to fly and interact with all these mystical creatures. It is definitely a game that's worth checking out. I definitely recommend it. Being able to fly so high in the skies is really just such a freeing experience that you can't get in WolfQuest, but it's definitely interesting playing as an animal that can fly for a change. If you're not really someone who owns a good PC or a PC at all, then you definitely should try checking out the Google Play Store for wolf simulators or wolf games, as there are plenty of good ones out there, such as a mobile WolfQuest that you can play and have a lot of fun with. I know there are a couple of multiplayer ones, but they are definitely worth checking out if you don't have a good PC. I know that some of them can be boring from time to time, but I know there are definitely a lot of them to try out. So this just about concludes it for my top 10 games like WolfQuest. I know that most of the games that were actually so much fun to play back in the day have now died out. Games like, Wolf Soul and Live have both gone into extinction from being these amazing games where you could play as multiple different animals, or amazing games in these multiple different universes have now just unfortunately come to pass. I know I've been a little rough on Primitive Call, but you know, they're still learning and they're in the learning process while at making the game, so I'm not really entirely sure that everything will be up to standards as WolfQuest would be, for example, that has a professional team of coding people behind it. However, I can say Primitive Call is definitely a big project to tackle and will be so worth it when it finally does come out one day, hopefully. But I hope these games could be helpful. I know that some of them will probably die out in the future, but hopefully it can give you something to do while you wait for a good game like Primitive Call to one day come out. If Primitive Call ever does come out, I'll be happy to play it, but in the moment, my hopes are pretty low. I'm not really keeping up with Primitive Call. They haven't really posted anything in years, and I can't see it ever coming out. So if you are keeping your hopes on Primitive Call because of my video, I just like to apologize for that. That was uncalled for. I know Sisu has worked on multiple games before that have all come to pass, most of them being Warrior Cat MMOs. I was quite obsessed back in the day. But yeah, Primitive Call, if it does ever come to pass, I'd be happy to make a video on it. But thank you all for watching, and thank you for 200 subscribers. It's been a bit of a something making videos. I just have so much fun making them, and I'm glad that I've just had so much fun making them, and I'm just so glad people actually enjoy my content. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye!